Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. In case you're wondering, I really like that swing. That was an exceptionally good one. So, getting back to a question, came into customer service from Samuel Vasquez. And Samuel says, Don, have you ever measured the angles when you bend over at address? Would it be different for each individual player? And would the proper club length and lie make any difference? I think I have the wrong length of clubs and lie angle because I seem to stand tall at address with the clubs I have. I bought them at a pro shop and was fitted for them, but I did not use your swing at the time. Okay, Sam, right off the bat, one of the first things I would like to address is it doesn't matter what swing you're using. Your club should fit you in a proper address, period. All right? So just because we swing more vertical doesn't mean that our clubs automatically have to be longer or shorter, more upright or whatever. No, you have to get into the proper posture, okay? And that's good no matter what swing. Now naturally, if your lies are off and your lengths are off, you can't get in the right posture for any swing, okay? Because your brain is going to have to figure out how can you adjust to get that club to hit the ball in the manner you want to hit it, which with the peak performance swing is we're nipping it, okay? Now, you do say something, you did make a statement about you think that because your clubs are too long because you have to stand tall. Well, I always mention that we should be standing tall. All right, we want a natural hang of our arms, but you start off with the lie angle. I've never personally measured mine. I'm sure I've done it at times, and I don't recall exactly what it is. But if you go and you read anything we talk about in the setup position, I always mention the fact that 30-degree angles. Dr. Ned Armstrong, my mentor, the orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist from Alpharetta, Georgia, who he and I have been collaborating, and he's been mentoring me since like about 1983 or 4, somewhere in there. He says that in the human body, balance always functions in most positions when we're at 30-degree angles. All right? He's actually been writing for years, hasn't got it done yet, but I'm after him to get it done so we can find out what it is and get it on the site and everybody can read about it. It's called 30-degree golf. I believe that's the title. So basically good posture is always just stay athletically ready. All right? You just stand up here and you get down like a baseball player in the field, a tennis player waiting for a serve, a linebacker guarding the whoever he's got, whether it be a wide receiver or whatever, okay? He's standing here. He can't get in here and slouch, can't have his head down. He's got to have his head up. So when we stand up, the heads and the neck and the head is in line with the spine. We bend over and we keep it up there. That's why you can't play golf with bifocals. And that's how a lot of people get slumped, because they have to look over the top of the bifocal or the trifocal, whether they got glasses or they're wearing contacts. They got to put their head down. That curls the shoulders down, the head down, curls in the chest. You can't lift, okay? So I like your concept of standing tall. Now the question is, you said, are your clubs the right length and the right lie? If you're standing tall and you're still having trouble swinging a golf club, whether it be chunking it or whatever, I would assume that would be your clubs are probably too long and maybe are too upright, okay? Just because somebody is tall doesn't mean that they need longer golf clubs. A lot of tall people have really long arms to match their tall body. So when they get into a good posture, right, athletically ready, the hips out, you're standing here, arms hanging straight down like you're shaking hands with somebody on the ground, their arms are down far enough, all right? Now, give you an example. I am 5 feet 9 inches tall. I have about a 35-inch sleeve. My son DJ is 6'3", or maybe even 6'3.5". He has a 35-inch sleeve. It's obvious, any of you out there that know anything about sleeve lengths based on your body, that 35 is about a right length for a guy 6'3". But it certainly isn't the right length for a guy like me, 5'9". All right? I one time had a member of my club in Atlanta, at the Pine Tree Country Club, and this guy was 6'3", and he had a 31-inch sleeve. All right? I'm 5'9", got 35. I think it's obvious. He got my arms and I got his. All right? Because mine are way disproportionate for my height and length, and his in being too long, and his were way disproportionate for his height and being way too short. Okay? So you just can't, your height is not the factor. It's when you get to a good fitter that knows what he's doing. There's one of basically two methods they use. They either measure like your fist to the ground, or many of them today use from the wrist to the ground. And they have their charts that factor in whatever it is. Now again, you could have two guys 5'9", and one's got short legs with a longer torso, and one's got just the opposite. short torso with longer legs. They still might end up being the same if they got the right proportion arms. Again, they could be totally different. One might need longer clubs, one might need shorter clubs. Again, depending ultimately on the length of their arms from the ground, their hands from the ground when they're standing up straight, and that's factored into where it's going to be at posture. Okay, so the key is yeah, the angles are important. Good athletically ready swing. Ready stance is important there, and as we say, maintaining your angles. So this is a good question, and the first thing, as I said, I have to dispel is the fact that it doesn't matter what swing you use, you need properly fitted clubs. And I sent this one to Doc Griffin, and we might see a daily from Doc addressing this. So Sam, you might have another answer coming from Doc pretty soon, because normally when I send something to him, he's going to do it, but I also send it to him to do it, even if I do it, because I want to bring it out from the professional perspective. He'll bring out the more technicalities of the fitter. But again, I'm going to shoot some good vibes here for fitters. I mean, you said you got fitted in a pro shop. That's nice. But most of our fitters are certified fitters on the site. I've talked to almost every one of them. None of them have a fitting that ever lasts less than an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay? 99% of other fittings, I think most of them are probably done in 5 to 10, 15 minutes. All right? So there's a first issue. They go through so many more things that is not done anywhere else. So there's fittings and there's fittings. All right. You go to a swing surgeon certified fitter. They have signed a pledge with us. They've signed that they're going to do everything to the certain requirements we want. And in building the clubs, we go beyond. You've heard of frequency matching. We go beyond that to MOI. So they sign this code of ethics and everything else, and they agree that, and they do it. And I've got some guys that normally never, that tell me they've gone as much as 3 and 4 hours with a fitting if they have to. The customer gets tired. They said, come back tomorrow, we'll finish it. And then, so that's the first part. A real fitting does not happen in 5, 10, 15, or 30 minutes, hitting 5 or 10 golf balls and say, yep, that's the right length and that's the right frequency, and I'll argue this club, and that's a fitting. No. The second part of a fitting is after they get all of that stuff, the key that shows you whether you had a really good fitting or just got whatever you want to call it is our guys don't take the money after the first fitting. Many of them will build you a 5-iron or a 6-iron or something, go try it, a 7-iron, and get a feeling for that, and come back in a day and two, tell me give me a feedback on it. And they might make an adjustment after that. And then they build the golf clubs. And they don't take your money until you come back and you hit the set they built you and you like it, then you pay. So my feeling is, and I stated this statement 1,000 times, and I'm going to say it again here, which I'll say it hopefully 1,000, 10,000 more times. If the person who fitted you does not build your clubs, you got shafted. All right? If the person who fitted you, in many cases, takes the money and sends the order off to somebody, that's the shafting. Because they're just going to pull clubs off the rack. All right? In many cases, the clubs are already somewhat, okay, this section is 1/2 inch longer and this section's 3/4 of an inch longer, but are they really going to check your lies out? Are they going to check out the weights to make certain that the weight of the head for the length of the shaft is exactly correct, that the frequency of the MOI will be correct for that weight? No, they're mass-produced clubs. With a fitter who builds his clubs, they are individually produced to you, to your exact specs. That's the difference. So if the fitter who fitted you does not build your clubs, you got shafted. All right? And again, I'm going to finish off with one last statement, like I said it already 3 times. Everybody's body's a little bit different. One height doesn't, if you're tall, doesn't mean you need long clubs. And if you're short, doesn't mean you need short clubs. It's all based on your body stature and your measurement from the whatever measurement the fitter takes for the uses your fist or uses your wrist. That's what's going to determine your club to the ground. Okay? So once we understand those concepts, the key is, if you want to play your best golf, get to somebody who's going to build you the best set of clubs. And just because fitters don't have all the top brands, what they do have is the heads they use are heads that are made in the same factories as all the other golf clubs. They're just as good. The only difference is they weigh every head, they weigh every shaft, they check out the specs on everything before they assemble that club, because a club that's too heavy has to have too many other arrangements to offset that weight if it's too heavy or too light. They want to start as close to the perfect weight that they know they need to build your club for the length it has to be, with the swing weight it has to be, which they don't even deal with that anymore, swing weights, it's MOIs and frequencies, and build it to the right lying angle and everything else, and the right flex that you need for that club to optimally perform for you. So fitting is critical. If you want to take your game to another level, get fitted. And fitted clubs do not cost more than than some of these top line clubs where you're paying $12, $14, $15, $1,600 because they're selling you exotic shafts and everything else. No, in the end, you get components just as good or better from a fitter. They just won't have the top brand names on them, and secondly, they'll be built to you like the best custom-made suit you can buy. Okay? Well, that's it for the search for today. Hopefully this explains a lot. If you get any questions, go on our site, look up the fitters under certified professionals, and find the one nearest to you. And many of these fitters can, if you can't get to them, they can probably work something out, and you send them some specs. They'll give you the specs they want. You send it to you, and then I've heard them, they might build you a 5 or 6 iron and send it to you and try it and go from there. But at least getting something even that way without personally being fit is going to be a heck of a lot better than buying something off the shelf or being fitted where they just send the order in and what comes back is heaven only knows. Okay? Well, that's it for the search for today. Rambling on about fitting, but I can't say enough because the club's your tool. The better your tools, the better you do your job. And our job is to hit the ball more solid straight and shoot those lower scores, and the tools matter. That's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.